Historic week for XRP, but it sure don't feel like it, does it? With all the chaos in the crypto market, prices cratering, it seems like it was all for naught. But make no mistake, this is very analogous to the end of the Ripple court case, where we said, this is a game changer, this is going to clear the way, but it sure didn't feel like it at first. You didn't see the price of XRP do much. It was sitting there. We knew this meant nothing all along. And then out of nowhere, because, the stage had been set, XRP blasted off from 50 cents to well over $3. It's the same kind of thing here. This sets the stage for future growth. This was a big deal, and it's only going to get bigger as we go forward. We're going to get into it. There's just a lot coming down the pipeline here. We just got to get through this awful turbulence we're in right now. Now, Bitwise giving us day one report of the XRP ETF, ticker symbol XRP. What a great ticker symbol. 25 million in first day trading. That's a little bit underwhelming for someone the size of Bitwise, but we have to remember the environment with which this ETF launched. One of the worst times in recent crypto history. Just everyone's looking to sell. They ain't looking to buy. There's going to be a lot of volume here. But there's 107 million assets under management. Remember, some people didn't buy the ETF. They actually deposited their XRP into this fund. They don't want to secure it. They don't want to hold it. They're going to let Bitwise do that for a reasonable management fee. And of course, it's going to be 0% for the first 500 million assets under management. After that, they will start charging a management fee. But it's in place. XRP ETFs are live. And when this market turns, it gives people access that they otherwise did not have. That's why it matters. Not what it does day one, not what it does week one. The fact that that infrastructure is in place. So when this market turns bullish, and it always does. Crypto always comes roaring back. When it does, we're ready. And we got everything ready to go. And that's going to be a big difference. Now, Rand Neuner, he did a great post this week. He said he really highlighted a missing piece of what caused this sell-off, this big crash here. But there's some nuance here. MSCI released a consultation questioning whether companies like MicroStrategies or BMNR, whose core business is holding crypto, should be excluded from major equity indices. If MSCI rules against them in January, pension funds, passive ETFs, and index trackers would be forced sellers, so they may get delisted. The MSCI threat didn't cause the crash in itself, though. It's not the only thing going on. We had $19 billion in liquidations that hit October 10th. ETF outflows accelerating. Macro sentiment had flipped. OG wallets were unloading. Risk appetite fell across markets, not just crypto. That MSCI ruling, or at least where they're putting that questionnaire out there, if maybe they should make this move, that didn't affect tech and AI. There's just a lot of turmoil out there in markets. But Rand is right that MSCI might explain why the markets didn't rebound, why people weren't bullish to jump back in here and take advantage of these prices. It affected things for sure. That's going to be troubling if they have such a rule. I don't think this is going to happen, and this is the deal. If MSCI rules against digital asset treasuries, well, we're probably going to see more selling because that's been a big driver during this cycle. But if they rule in favor, it's going to be one of the biggest overhangs of this cycle will disappear overnight. Some risk will just go away. So we know this is a pro-crypto administration, environment in general. And so hopefully this doesn't go against us because that's going to be tough. If you start delisting, all these companies just because they hold a lot of crypto, well, that's going to be bad for the market. We'll see it play out. But Rand's right. That was a big driver, but it's not the only one. That's for sure here. Bitcoin having its worst month since 2022 crypto collapse. So it's been epically bad out there. Bitcoin dumped 25% in November, crashing to 80,000 range, wiping out trillions of market cap. Bitcoin down 30% since early October. Market cap is under $3 trillion. ETFs saw $903 million, almost $1 billion in outflow in one day. Think about that. Another $2 billion in leverage longs liquidated. Fear and greed index to extreme fear levels we haven't seen since 2022. And of course, this is forced liquidations, structural ETF sellings, reluctant institutional investors that are sitting out right now. They're sitting on the sidelines, and a lot of that fear probably comes from the tech sector as well. People are like, wow, maybe we need to be a little bit cautious here. Again, we see that AI-driven tech whiplash in equities. There's a mysterious forced seller dumping large amounts of crypto, and even decade-old OG wallets are offloading billions of dollars. Bitcoin has now printed 11 straight lower lows, the longest streak since 2010 here. This is the biggest stress test in the post-ETF bull cycle that we have seen. So since we've had ETFs in this modern era, this is the biggest. This is the granddaddy of them all. And we're just going to have to clear all of this until we can get on to continuing this growth phase. Now, either Sunday or Monday, I'm going to roll out a new XAO DAO video that I'm excited here. I've been working very hard on it, but this thing is scaling quick. Soon we will see the launch of proposals and voting. And remember, this is all about making sure the future is built on the XRP Ledger. Join today. It's $10 payable in XRP. You get your NFT to prove you are a member. Link down below. Link also in the pinned comment. Click through there. You can do it now with your Salmon wallet. Bifrost coming soon. This is going to be a big deal. Again, that new video will come out either Sunday or Monday, but join today. Link down below. Become a member of the first DAO in XRP Ledger history. Big deal here. Now, this is from Grayscale, and they're saying when you give an AI a wallet, everything changes. A new frontier is opening fast. So this is going to be a big deal, and this is going to push crypto adoption. It's not just people using this technology. Soon it's going to be AI agents, and it's already happening, actually, as we see here. AI agents aren't just answering questions anymore. They're running blockchain wallets, making payments, tipping users, promoting tokens, and becoming, in some cases, even digital millionaires. It's actually already happening. AI influencers like Truth Terminal and Luna are already acting like autonomous humans on X, except they can send money, earn money, speculate, and interact economically without permission. So they're already running here. Stable coins, and I would say also just crypto in general, becomes a default currency for AI. High throughput chains, Sol-based near, are positioned to explode. And I would say also the XRP Ledger with all the feature sets we see, DeFi apps like Uniswap and Aave and Polymarkets become AI accessible. And that's the thing, your AI, it can't go and start a bank account, right? They're not going to give a bank account. You can't have your AI call up Bank of America and open up a bank account, but it can open up a crypto wallet that it can use. And so this is going to be the first access point. AI agents could onboard millions into crypto without users even realizing what's going on. The moment AI gets economic autonomy, crypto becomes the operating system of the future. So it's not just about the economic transactions of people going forward. It's also going to be artificial intelligence here. Now, XRP, the ETF rush has officially begun. May not feel like it, but it's happening here. We see Brad Garlinghouse. Bitwise just launched spot XRP ETF on the New York Stock Exchange, the second XRP-only ETF to hit the U.S. market in 1 week. Remember, there are also some bundled products that have XRP as one of the top weights that also launched at the same time. So it's not just these ones as well. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse welcomed the launch, calling it the start of a pre-Thanksgiving XRP ETF rush. And this is the deal. It only gets bigger from here. November 24th, Grayscale XRP ETF expected to go live. Outside of BlackRock and Fidelity is probably as big as it gets. Also, Franklin Templeton, 1 trillion asset under management. This is a big one. Some people saying we may see as high as $200 million inflowing into that Franklin Templeton ETF on day one. It's going to be a big launch. Both of them on the same day. Grayscale, Franklin Templeton. Meanwhile, Canary Capital XRPC, the first U.S. XRP spot ETF, shocked the market with $58 million in day one volume. We've covered that. The highest of any ETF in 2025. This is a deal. With XRP, man, why couldn't we get Franklin Templeton or Grayscale on day one? It's just we had to get Canary Capital. We still broke the record for 2025. We had the biggest launch. But can you imagine if it would have been a good day, a bullish day for crypto, and we got like Franklin Templeton? It would have just rocked the world. But that's okay. Get this infrastructure in place, and we're going to have those big days. We're going to have those epic days not too long here in the future here. Now, Chad says this, end of close of week, Bitwise, 21 million in trading volume, and Canary, 12 million. So 34 million in total. Not huge numbers, but again, why? Well, it's just a bad environment. There's not a lot of buyers out there for crypto right now. Get them in place, get them launched, and this market will turn, you know that. That's saying, you know what, you got to take a step back and see what's going on with XRP and the XRP Ledger right now. We have smart contract initiatives, firewalls coming to keep your XRP safe, even if you leak your keys. That's interesting. I should cover this here pretty soon. That's really, really novel what they're working on there. Events and hackathons to connect builders and business people. Evernorth to deploy XRP Ledger DeFi strategies, and I think also prove that a company, a digital asset treasury, can trade at a premium to the XRP it holds. That's going to be huge for Ripple. RLUSD, XRP Ledger integration with centralized exchanges, XRP ETFs launching with big inflows, tokenization of RWAs, stables, hidden road, and all sorts of stuff. Look, we could carry on all day long with this stuff, right? It's all getting in place. It's all about adoption, onboarding people, onboarding institutions. This is going to be a big deal. The list goes on, but one thing is for sure, fundamentals are up, and that's true. From a regulatory standpoint, never been better. From feature sets, never been better. Building, adoption, that's what's going to matter long term. So that's what you keep your focus on. You can't help the day-to-day stuff. If people start freaking out about AI, it doesn't change the long-term value of XRP. It's going to change today's value today, but it's not going to change the long-term trajectory here. Focus on what matters and the things you can control. The XRP ledger remains the opportunity. Basically, what he's saying remains the biggest opportunity of the whole crypto market. And, we'll see that play out. But it's going to be one of the top performers. We can see that. Tom Lee, man. Bitmain is currently showing unrealized losses of $4 billion in its Ethereum holding. He's got to be scratching his head. How is this possible? It's supposed to be a bull run. Crypto's supposed to be going up. And, we're doing worse than Ethereum was doing during the bear market. This is just awful, and he's getting cooked here. But again, if he sticks in here long enough, things will turn to his favor, as it will for all of crypto. Interesting post here by Crypto Siege here. Basically, what Hugo is saying is, look, if XRP Ledger has native staking, that doesn't hurt Flare at all. It actually helps things. And instead of just bringing over vanilla XRP, you will bring over staked XRP to the Flare network, adding more utility, more use cases for XRP. This is only going to help Flare and XRP Ledger, that, linking in the use case of those two networks going forward. It's not going to harm it at all. Pretty interesting post. Go read through it on Crypto Siege's page here. 3 billion. Understand the size of what has happened. 3 billion left Bitcoin ETFs. What's really going on? November, it's been brutal for Bitcoin funds. We had 3 billion in outflows, including 355 million from BlackRock's IBIT, almost 200 million from Grayscale, 903 million in a single day across all ETFs. So this is record setting in this new era. Bitcoin dropped from 126,000 to 84,000. That's part of it, but it's not the whole story. Weak risk appetite, fears of an AI tech bubble. That's causing a lot of problems out there. Fading expectations of a rate cut. I think the rate cut chances are as high as they've ever been. But really, the Fed doesn't have a lot of tools to slow things down. So if they could do so by acting like they're not going to cut the rates, that's what they're doing. It's my opinion. We'll have to see what they do. Institutional repositioning into year end. Even though we saw inflows in past weeks during price drops, meaning macro strategy is driving this as much as the charts here. So just a lot going on. Where we come out of this, who knows? And this was a really interesting story. The U.S. has been quietly investigating Bitmain. Now, they're the number one manufacturer of Bitcoin miners in the world. And I've heard this before, that they're looking into this issue and they're ramping it up. The Senate Intelligence Committee warned this summer that Bitmain's Chinese-made mining rigs have disturbing vulnerabilities and may be remote controlled from China, an unacceptable risk near U.S. military and energy infrastructure. And that's the big thing. First of all, understand globally, anywhere you look, there's a U.S. military base, but more importantly, these miners, they're located towards our energy infrastructure. And if they could somehow do something remotely, well, that's a security risk, isn't it? I don't know if there's any substance to this from a real technical standpoint, but it's something they're pushing here. A month-long federal probe called Operation Red Sunset has been examining whether Bitmain's hardware can be used for espionage or even sabotage of the U.S. power grid. DHS agents have intercepted rigs at U.S. ports, torn down chips and firmware, and investigated potential malicious capabilities. Bitmain, they're saying, hey, we didn't do nothing wrong. This is nonsense. This is American propaganda, but the message is clear. American Bitcoin mining infrastructure is now a national security issue. What does this mean? Well, Bitcoin mining isn't going to go away, but maybe Bitmain can't be supplying all the rigs. Maybe we'll have to have some U.S. companies jump in here. I don't know. Seems pretty serious to me, though. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.